A disagreement between the ANC and the EFF on state custodianship of expropriated land is stalling amendments to the Section 25 of the Constitution. The two parties need to reach a compromise as both don't enjoy the required two-thirds majority for the amendment to pass in the National Assembly. Let's unpack the latest on the story for you now with our next guest, who is chair of the ad hoc committee tasked with this constitutional amendment. That's Dr. Mathole Motshekga. Dr. Motshekga, it's great to have you with us on the show this morning. In fact, the headline that I'm looking at this morning is that these negotiations between the ANC and the EFF is now in tatters. It's collapsed. Is that an accurate assessment?
A very, very wrong assessment, because that is based on a misunderstanding between process and product. At the moment, we had a process which allowed political parties, not just the EFF and the ANC, to hold bilateral meetings to try and find each other or one another. And after those bilaterals, they came back to Parliament. And on the basis of the outcome of the bilaterals, we revised the bill, which we have now publicized for public comments. So the matter now is not between the ANC and the EFF. The matter is on the table of the people of South Africa. As Parliament, we are going to listen to the people, because the Constitution must reflect the will of the people as a whole, not the will of the EFF and the ANC. So the process is on. It has not collapsed. Some people say there's a stalemate. There's no stalemate. The stalemate can only arise, if it does, when the people of South Africa have spoken, and they have not yet spoken. We have given them 3 weeks to speak.
So can I ask you this then, Dr. Motshekga? The EFF wants the state custodianship of all expropriated land, right? What is the ANC's view on that demand from the EFF?
You know, state custodianship is both a political and a legal concept. Politicians are not experts. In the same manner that when we deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, we relied on experts. In this case, we will also rely on expert advice on the meaning of state custodianship. Some people say state custodianship is the same thing as nationalization. You can see that we have a conceptual problem. And South Africa is so rich. We have brains in South Africa. We will invoke the wisdom of our experts. We will break that so-called stalemate. So I don't see a problem, because if there is an issue that can build or break South Africa, is a failure to resolve the land question. I am determined that this must be resolved using expert evidence.
Yeah. So the Justice Minister, Ronald Lamola, he's been leading the governing party's delegation insofar as these talks are concerned, right? He's been quite clear in what state custodianship of expropriated land means to him. It's nationalization of all land, according to Ronald Lamola, who's also called it anti-black, saying South Africa will never go down the Zimbabwean route.
No, Minister Lamola is right. Is reflecting what came out of the bilaterals between the ANC team led by himself and the EFF. But as I say, we have long passed that stage of the deadlock between the two parties. We are now in a parliamentary process which has allowed the people of South Africa to speak for themselves. So we gave the people of South Africa 3 weeks to speak for themselves. So we can only make a determination of where we are after the people of South Africa have spoken. Because the Constitution is the creature of the people. is not the creature of one or two parties.
Yeah, but I mean, for the amendment to pass still, in so much as public participation is a big part of it, it does go down to a vote in the National Assembly, and you don't have 2/3.
Amendment of the Constitution is not essentially a matter of numbers. It's a matter of substance. And I have no doubt that all members of Parliament will not ignore expert advice on the meaning of state custodianship. And because if you say state custodianship, it's like a slogan saying Amandla. But we must go down and say, what is the meaning of state custodianship? What are the implications of that for the economy? As Minister Lamola said, what are the implications? Is that feasible? Is that within our mandate? Because our mandate is to make explicit what is implicit in the Constitution. Our mandate is not to introduce new economic policies into the Constitution.
I mean, Dr. Motshekga, is there, outside of the legalities around this issue, is there a lack of clarity and a lack of political direction insofar as this issue is concerned?
That's why I'm saying we need experts' advice. We need legal opinion. I have already asked the chair of chairs to grant us permission to get a second legal opinion on these matters. And then we will also approach, economists on these questions. So this is a simple question. We should not create an alarm in the country that Parliament is failing to deal with this matter. It's just a question of clarifying the concepts, and after that, I have no doubt that the ANC and the EFF will agree, unless they want to be irresponsible.
Dr. Motshekga, a lot of analysis around what's unfolded over the past few days, the past week or so, says that, as chair of the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee, you might be downplaying what is unfolding here in terms of, you're saying it's not a stalemate between the ANC and the EFF, but in so much as you want to say, it just needs certain clarity, it just needs some direction. This is a massive issue facing the country. Are you downplaying it?
No, I'm not downplaying it. I'm saying it is premature to say there is a stalemate, because we need legal advice and advice by economists on what is state custodianship. Because state custodianship could mean expropriate land, placing it in the hands of the state, pending the redistribution of that land to the people who needs land, or expropriating land pending the restitution of that land to the people who were violently dispossessed of that land. So politicians are engaged in political talk. This is not just political talk. There are legal and economic aspects to this matter. So all I'm saying is that we are going to get evidence and deal with this matter based on evidence, not on what people feel or what their ideologies are.
So public hearings, if I'm correct, continue. What's your advice to South Africans who want to really get involved?
There are no public hearings. We have published a bill which was adopted by the majority in the committee. But as you correctly said, in the House we need 2/3 majority, and we don't want to get our people to vote on the basis of ignorance. So we want to get expertise to help inform the people, so that they must vote on the basis of informed opinions, not slogans.
Right, Dr. Mathole Motshekga, thanks very much for your time this morning on what is still an issue at the top of minds for many, many South Africans, and it doesn't appear that we have much clarity to date. Section 25 Committee Chairperson, ad hoc Section 25 Committee Chairperson, Dr. Mathole Motshekga, joining us there via our video link.